We're back with part 2 with Matt James Photography, and today we're going to be chatting through Matt's processes from client acquisition all the way up to delivering the photos. Matt, you mentioned last week that you just completed 75 weddings in 2023. How do you get to that point? How do you book so many?
So for me, my booking process, my lead process nowadays is mainly all generated through Instagram. Social media for me is my key tool, and venue recommendations. I'm privileged to be recommended by a certain amount of venues that have an umbrella of venues that keeps me very busy. But like I said, a lot of my messages come through from Instagram.
Yeah, I noticed you shoot a lot at Mill Barnes.
Yeah.
Yes, what are the other ones that sort of recommend you?
So Mill Barnes is a big one for me. Manor by the Lake in Cheltenham is another big one. But the Mill Barnes umbrella, NSARB, they have several other venues like Foxtails, which I believe you're familiar with.
Yeah, I'm getting married there in 2025.
Foxtails, which is Stoke-on-Trent venue. The Ashes, which was their original venue. Then you've got Pendrell Hall, which is another one of their venues. And Mill Barnes, for me, is their main.
That's your bread and butter.
That's my bread and butter. That's what keeps the lights on in my house.
On the table.
I think I did about 35 weddings a year there, each year.
Oh, wow.
Just at that one venue.
Just at that one venue.
Wow. So process
I've shot over 200 weddings there in my time.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Mental.
I don't think I've done 200 weddings.
You're just a newbie compared to
Yeah,
Matt.
that's right, isn't it?
He's an OG.
Oh, gee.
You've shot 200 other things.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. So process-wise, I kind of want to have a chat with you now about like anyone that's looking to get into weddings or just starting out, and to give your knowledge. As I say, being an OG, been around for a while, you probably got some bangers of value to give to people.
Maybe after Christmas. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So, what's the process look like for you? You know, you've had your first inquiry, a bride's looked at your work and she's interested in knowing more. So how's that work?
Yeah, so once a couple have inquired with me, they'll either drop me a message via my website or Instagram. Whichever it is, I get in touch and then send them a contact form over, which has got all my packages on. It's a customized quote to their date and venue, which then they can look at if they're happy. Most people just click accept quote straight away, and it automatically generates all the contracts for me and everything. That's a program called Studio Ninja.
Yeah,
which is extremely useful. I think I might have told you about that one.
To
jump onto.
Yeah.
Did you use his referral code?
I hope so.
I'm going to be honest with you, I've had it for a couple of years now, so I can't even remember whose I did. So
And
I apologise if I didn't.
Also, if you're interested in Studio Ninja, Mitch has got a referral code in the
yeah.
description below. Not Matt's, because it's our show.
And I think I've referred that many people. My subscription's probably free now anyway.
Yeah. So Studio Ninja's a game changer for you, and it's one of those things that I need to get on.
Yeah, we've said it in a couple of episodes how good it is and how it's made our workflow better, hasn't it?
Yeah, so they've done that, and then what's next? Obviously, if they've, are you taking deposits up front? How's that work with payments?
Yeah, so for me, I'll take a deposit up front, which is automatic when they click the accept quote, whichever package they go for. I run several packages, which is down from just me turning up on the day and then the client getting digital files after, to a next package which has an album, and then another package which has an even bigger album, a few other features. So the deposit is based on whatever they pick. It's 20% up front.
20%, yeah.
20% up front, and 80% on final balance 4 weeks prior to the wedding.
4 weeks, yeah.
4 weeks prior. In the meantime of that process, whether it be the wedding's next year, 3 years, because I book 3 years in advance. I don't know if I've said that.
3 years.
3 years in advance.
Do people book that far in advance?
I've got a question for you just off that. I've noticed that there's a couple of photographers that won't open their diary for 2 years or something. They go, it's finally open. Because personally, whenever I had an inquiry,
you'll take it.
It is. Now, I think some of it is down to pricing, because it's another conversation that I've had where it's if someone's say 4 years in advance, obviously inevitably prices are going to be probably increased as it comes up to that. But then to me, your prices now are what they are now, and you kind of do that. How do you do that? Or do you have a cutoff? You won't accept anything after say 3 years?
And are you asking essentially, do you have a different price if they're booked in a certain year?
Yeah.
So do you increase that, or do you give them the price you are now and they get that price in the future? Because I think we spoke about this. going a little bit off the track here, but essentially, Mitch, and I love the way you said this, is like, I want to attract them in now. You can have this year's prices in 2 years' time. But I'm like, well, in 2 years' time, my prices might have changed, so I feel like I'm losing out. How do you do that?
It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. But I do, so rule of thumb is 3 years in advance.
Tops.
Tops. Tend not to unless it's special circumstances, whether it be something really special, I really want it, and I don't want to lose this job.
It's like Italy, Lake Como, or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. But no, rule of thumb, 3 years in advance, and unfortunately, prices do change, but that's the benefit of booking in advance.
Right.
You're securing that photographer. Prices do go up, but you're not putting your prices up massively each year. No. You are missing out on COVID, for example, was a killer. People booking in 2019, knocking it down a couple of years. Your prices have gone up, and up. They paid you in 2019, and then when it comes to shooting that wedding, it's like, I feel like I'm doing this for free, but I'm going to give it my all.
I had that similar with, we were just talking about this earlier, weren't we? Like, they booked me in 2019, COVID hit, another couple of postponements, and they're like, the balance is due, and I'm like, oh.
There is no balance.
I had one.
Pennies. So, okay, that's cool.
But they benefited from that, not us.
Yeah.
So it's a benefit of booking well in advance.
And at the time, we were like,
But at the time, clients don't see this. Clients, they think, I've got plenty of time, I'll book my venue, chill a bit now. Experience for me is book the venue, book your photographer, videographer.
That's my next thing to book.
Florists, cakes, and stuff like that. They can tend to do multiple weddings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We can't.
Yeah.
And people think, well, they'll be available. I've turned people away in 3 years. I get people go, it's free. It's 3 years away. Should I be booking? Or what's your date? And they send it to me and I go, I've had 3 inquiries and I'm already booked on that date, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still hate turning people away, whether it's they're booking 3 years in advance or they go, are you free next week?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I probably am free next week rather than in 3 years' time.
Yeah, probably got more availability next week. Yeah. So do you speak to them before that point? When's your next point of contact for them?
So for me, I'm quite laid back. It's mainly client-led. So if a client wants to set up a Zoom with me, I'll set up a Zoom. If a client wants to have a phone conversation, I'll set one up. If a client wants to go ahead and just click the link and book and not have any correspondence whatsoever, which 70% of my clients, I'd say, I don't speak to until literally just before the wedding. There's some weddings that I just turn up and I've not had any conversations with before. I say, do you want to set up a call? And I go, no, we're fine. Because I send a questionnaire out 6 months before just to drop in and say, this is what's going to happen.
Right,
hope you're okay. I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm still in business.
Still in business.
Yeah. I get some going, are we still okay for in 6 months' time?
Yeah. Especially around COVID, people are like, will you still do it? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so they get an email 6 months prior, and then a questionnaire goes out with their final balance email 4 weeks before. Because by 4 weeks before your wedding, you should know.
You should know your schedule.
You should know your schedule. You should know your timings. You should know absolutely everything.
Not always the case. But
not always the case. I always say, as long as you get it back to me before the wedding, because if you get it back to me after, I'm not going to know anything.
Still turn up though.
As long as it's there before the wedding. On that, it's mainly just timings, questionnaires, bridal party size, special people's names, suppliers list. I like to add a question for suppliers list.
And this is all in Studio Ninja, right?
This is all in Studio Ninja.
In the questionnaire,
I made that this year a mandatory question. Before I had it on there.
I haven't got it as a mandatory.
People wasn't filling it in.
Yeah.
But for me, I like to know who I'm working. It doesn't need to be everyone. As long as I know if there's going to be a videographer, videographer's name, florist, makeup artist.
Oh God. Not him again.
So if I do get round to post it on my social media, and I know I've got all the right tagging bits.
So it's always good to do.
It's mainly just for that, and just to see who I'm going to be working.
Yeah, that's a good tip. If you're on a wedding, right, tag all the suppliers, because they generally will like reshare, won't they?
Absolutely. And
you're then pushed into their feeds, and obviously, the more your work's seen, the better.
A little goes a long way when it comes to tagging on social media.
We've obviously done it amongst ourselves. We started using the collaborating with it. I've done a couple with venues, and like say I got 200-300 views off my own back, and then I've got like 4,000-5,000 views through it. It makes all the difference.
A collaboration, is massive. Yeah, collaborate. They don't always accept it.
No, true. But when they do,
they don't. But you know what? Going back to the very beginning, when you said to me, "How did it all start for you?" and I went to a couple of weddings. I was in the right place at the right time. This is a little story about me that maybe a lot of people don't know. Me and my partner Jodie, we were engaged to get married on a certain date. In the end, we decided not to get married. We're still together, by the way. Going strong, 11 years, 3 kids. But we decided not to get married. We put things into perspective. Let's start a family first. Let's not spend loads of money on a wedding. Let's do this and we'll go down that path later on.
Yeah.
So the day we were supposed to get married, me and Jodie was going to go off and do something special. I got a wedding inquiry. And I said to Jodie, I was like, should I do it? She goes, yeah, do it. And it was at Mill Barnes, my first ever wedding at Mill Barnes.
Oh my God. And
So
you never
had I
left.
have not cancelled my wedding,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would never be so busy with Mill Barnes.
Oh, wow.
So I was at the right
Fuck,
place,
I love
the
that.
right time. And off the back of that, it just snowballed from my first ever wedding to 30, 35 weddings a year, though.
So you mentioned your questionnaire. Do you include stuff about group shots? Because there's been a couple of photographers that I work with that are like, they'll limit it to 10 because you know what it can be like on the day. It can just be absolutely chaotic. But are you one of those that like, you'll just take, like say, yep, sure, I'll do whatever? Or are you kind of like limit it? Or how do you go about doing it?
Limiting to 10 sounds amazing.
Okay, that's not the game.
I've never done that. I've heard stories of that. On the questionnaire, the very last question on my questionnaire, I've got any special persons need to be listed, i.e., you've got relatives that might be poorly, nans that are, nan and granddad that are quite old. You definitely want to get a photo with them because they might not be here. In a week,
of course,
month, year.
And I guess they kind of say about their kids and stuff as well.
Kids are top list, but that comes in with the. I have a question about family members, close one. So, are your parents together? That's always a good one because you rock up on the day and go, "Is Dad walking you down the aisle?" No.
And when they're literally at the end of the, they're when they're at the end of the table of the side of the room
Scowling at
kind
each
of thing.
other.
It's just
So that's another question: are the parents amicable? But yeah, I have a list at the end where it says list all your special persons and your groups list. Write it down. So then it saves them sending me a 75-page PDF, which has happened.
I was going to say, have you ever had any situations where you've had to kind of go try and get them to reel it in a little bit? Because I can only imagine if there was like, right then, there's the expectation of 70, and you're like, 70 in 45 minutes? And do you know what I mean? It's just...
And that's 45 minutes for everything
Exactly.
as well. It's like the groups, the couple, drinks reception. It's like you've got to try and cram everything in for that.
Yeah.
I've probably only ever had one or two instances where they've listed 75 images.
Yeah.
The first one, I contacted the bride and says, this is unachievable.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to roll with this. This is going to be fun. I've turned up to the wedding. It's summer. We've got through like 6 or 8 images and got group shots. And she's like, I don't want to do this. I was like, I know you wouldn't. I know for a fact you wouldn't want to do this. But I've left it. She goes, but I got it off Etsy. Is it Etsy or Pinterest or something like that? She goes, I got it on the internet. I went,
Yeah. This is real life.
yeah, this is not the internet now, babe. This is real. And then I'm like, can we just do close family members and the bride and groom? That's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
you know what? Sometimes when they don't fill out their group's photo list, that's what we roll with. They're like, I'm going to leave it to you. You're the expert.
Okay.
And I always ask on the day when I turn up, who's the bridesmaids, who's the groomsmen.
You have like a template.
Template in my head. It's like, so do you have any siblings that are part of the bridal party?
Yeah.
So any brothers in the groomsmen, any sisters in the bridesmaids? When they say yes, my brother's a groomsman, my sister's a bridesmaid, no other siblings, it's like, you don't have to remember some random person wearing a different outfit.
Yeah.
That's so ideal when they're all part of the bridal party. And the group's photos are very small because the parents are in those photos, the brothers and sisters are in those photos because they're part of the bridal party. Their kids, if they've got kids, the dog, if they're bringing a dog along.
I'll have the dog in.
9 times out of 10, they probably want to do something with their workmates if they've got any.
Yeah.
But other than that, groups lists actually can roughly are around about 10 when they naturally evolve that way.
Yeah.
Only the ones that have like group lists of 70 are the, I don't want to say control freaks. Is that a bad word to say about people? But yeah, the control freaks, who write their wedding lists on
say it, man.
spreadsheets. Yeah, then they rock up with a spreadsheet and they go, we're doing this is the time schedule. I've had that, but I'm going off topic here, but I've had someone send me the time schedule for their overall wedding.
Yeah.
And I was listed on it, when to take breaks and when to have drinks.
I've had that before. The thing is,
That's kind of nice, they're thinking.
No,
then it doesn't-
not in a nice way.
Because then I find it will never go to plan, and then they get super stressy about it, and then they're just getting upset with the day because it's not going as it planned. And I've had to
gotta
take
be
them
fluid.
aside and go, right then, appreciate what you're trying to do. It's great that we've got there's a lot of
A detailed itinerary.
perfect, but things will go past it. Things might take a little bit longer.
And
It's
all you're
their
gonna do is panic and
wedding.
worry.
Don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean?
God, yeah.
One of the first things I say to a bride when I walk in is relax. I'm here to do a job, and just let it unravel and evolve how it should do. You're in safe hands. You've picked all the right suppliers. Have a drink if you're not a recovering alcoholic. Enjoy yourself, or if you are, I mean, it's your wedding day. What's one day going to do? Might ruin the rest of your life.
That's fine. As long as it doesn't ruin today.
But at least you're married.
Yes. I definitely don't.
Shit.
I definitely don't envy the photographers doing the group shots. It seems so stressful. But let's go back to like a bit more of the prep. You know, it's the night before. What's Matt doing to prep, or do you just rock out of bed, put some Brill cream in your hair, grab your bag, walk off?
Yeah, the day before, I make sure all my batteries are packed, charged, packed, memory cards are in, formatted. I always do it before going because I've rocked up to weddings before where I forgot to format and I've just started shooting. And you've got a previous wedding on, you're like, God.
Yeah.
Even though you've backed it up, it doesn't mean nothing. But then you can't format and start again. It's just a nightmare. So yeah, formatted, charged, and packed. I don't like to do it on the morning just because
Night before, always night before, yeah.
Again, 3 kids. Most wedding mornings, it's still a normal school day for me. I'm getting up, I'm making packed lunches. I'm a dad until they're kicked out the door, and then I'm in the mode.
Then you're in.
I'll have a coffee,
mode.
and then I'll set off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm all packed the night before, good to go. Clothes all at the ready, so I can get up, have a shower, do my dad mode, and then switch into wedding mode. As soon as I get in that car, put on some tunes.
What are you listening to get you fired up?
Smooth FM.
Oh, sounds like
Not really. No, Capital Dance.
Dance. Pulls into the car park in his Merc. Like, Matt's here.
It's smooth up until the last 5 minutes, obviously.
Yeah. Get built up for it.
So you get there. Do you scout the venue out? Do you go straight to the bride, introduce yourself, or are you straight on it, or what's
Depends where it is and depends how it's run. Ideally, I like to first get there and go and speak to whoever's running the day. So
the coordinator.
Different venues call it different things. Some like to be event managers, planners, coordinators.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There's a
the
name.
planner's been there.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But whatever I'd like to go and introduce myself to them because ultimately they're going to be your best friend for the day.
Yeah.
If you butter them up, you're getting upgraded from like a 1 course to maybe a 3 course. Or if you've been put down for sandwiches, you're getting steak.
You're getting
whether you pay for your drinks or not.
Yeah. Exactly. He's a photographer. Just make sure he gets free drinks.
Yeah.
Put your drink on the side. You put your camera on the side just so they know you're the photographer.
I do that.
Yeah, you slam it on the deck.
Can I get lemonade, please?
Douche. You're the photographer, the videographer. No, just carry a camera.
Yeah. Just gets me free drinks at weddings.
Doesn't work at the local pub though.
No, it's funny enough.
For some reason, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so first port of call for me is go and find the coordinator.
Yeah.
Say hello. 9 times out of 10, if I've not been there, it's fine. But most places I go to these days,
Like Mill Barnes, because
if I go to Mill Barnes, I'll rock up an hour early. I'll go and have breakfast, have a cup of coffee in the office with the girls, and then I always arrive before the bride because 10:30 is the time they can get in. I'm 20 minutes down the road,
Yeah, with that.
so I always leave early. I get there for about 10, quarter
Yeah.
past, catch up with the girls in the office.
I was going to ask you how long, what's the time scale that you arrived before? At the Mill Barnes, they have a time that they can come in.
They have a time limit, but again, so if it was a venue where you say on the questionnaire what time you're getting ready, and they go 4 a.m.
It's right.
Won't see you at 10.
See you later.
Rule of thumb for me is I like to be there 3 hours before ceremony. As a rough
2 to 3, I think.
as a rough guide.
Yeah, I'm starting to go 4 hours, but I think it's from a video side of things. 4 hours, but because 3
Like
hours.
Kino.
Well, do you know if it's from Ross?
Yeah.
Because he goes probably about that time before. What it is, 3 hours was fine for me, but
I think you're the only videographer that turns up 4 hours first. Whenever I shoot a gig, the videographer's always an hour behind me.
Well, no, I'm always there before the photographer.
Usually a 2 hour rule.
No, I'm free for me, but I'm finding that it doesn't give me enough time to scout, get a few establishing shots.
Well, maybe they are there then, but they're outside. They're not coming. They're out doing.
They're out grafting while you're having breakfast.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
That's for me. And then I've started, but then 3 hours hasn't been quite enough for that. So I've been like, right then, get there a bit an hour before, so then it gives me time to get in.
You get there early.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try that.
Is that the only place you ever arrive early?
You should try that. You should try that when meeting me.
I say 4 hours, but I actually turn up 3 hours because I'm late. So I'm not really getting any difference, but I'm trying. In my head, it's working.
Okay. So next, let's dig out some more nuggets from you, Matt. With obviously you've gone there, you've had your breakfast, you got a full belly, having a snooze on the sofa in reception.
Are you one to scout a venue? Because I know some people that would. So also
It's a question from clients.
Yeah, it's like, do you prep before you go? For instance, do you go on Google, check the venue out and that stuff? Because some people do, some people don't. I do sometimes, depending on the venue.
I look at their Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, I don't, only because, again, it goes to me, the whole back of, if the venue's decent, which 9 times out of 10 it's going to be, is I feel like I've got a general eye when I'm just like walking around in the day. I'm like, oh, that'd be good when we go and do our portraits. We're back, but some people don't like to do that. They like to go
scout
before.
on the morning or before.
Yeah. So, like I said, some people will go on Google or what's it go right then. They have obviously had a lot of photos or videos taken in that position or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So you're aware in a new venue. Obviously, in the mill barns, you've done it. We know where the points are to go. But with a new venue, every point. Do you do it like before, or is it ones where in the morning you'll do it, or do you just like throughout the day? Oh, that'd be a good shot. I'll go and do that. It's not bad either way. It's just how you work, isn't it?
So for me, if it's an inquiry that's come through for a venue I've not done before, and it's not been booked yet, and they've not clicked accept on a quote or anything, I'll go on Google. I'll look at it to see if I want to shoot it first. Because if it looks like it's going to be a difficult venue in a sense of
difficult, i.e., shit.
Yes, I was just trying to be polite.
Let's not mix our words.
If it's a shit venue and you don't want to go there so much,
it's not going to benefit you. You probably won't post it.
Or if I've got a wedding either side and it's logistically not feasible, so I'm here, I'm there, and they're out of the way. I am talking, and it's shit that adds onto it. So it's got all these tick boxes. I'll have a look at it. If it's lovely, it's like, I'll have a few scouts of the images, and that's it. I won't drive to a venue. Scout it.
No. I know a couple of photographers that will do like a pre-shoot and make sure they do a meeting at the venue before.
Do that. No, I don't do that.
Are they on 10 grand a wedding?
Not necessarily. That's why it surprised me. But it is a.
No, I've never. I've had clients ask me, "Will you go and do this?" And my response is, "No, I don't do that." Because, like you just said, on the day you've got the eye. You do this for a living. You know what you do. It's like I book destination weddings. I don't fly out to Italy like a week before to have a look and then fly out. I mean, it'd be nice.
Just fly out a week before. Tell the family I'm just scouting it out for a week.
Stay the week.
And then shoot.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, actually. But when you do a destination wedding, you do go out a few days before and you do get opportunities to have a little look around anyway. But no, I don't scout a venue. Short answer, long answer.
Long answer.
Longest, shortest answer ever. Longest, shortest answer ever. If it's a venue that I've not been for on the day, you can see rule of thumb. You can see with your eye, that's good. Oh, I'll do
Easy
that.
Enough,
I'll do that.
Easy enough.
You do it for a living. You shoot enough weddings, you kind of go into autopilot mode.
Yeah. What is this something you might recommend from people coming into it, that it's something they do? Just because for me, like, I've only developed the eye because I've developed the eye for over time and experience.
Absolutely.
You know
if you're very new at it, and you don't have the eye of the tiger, there's no harm in going to the venue or area that you're going to do. Like what you mentioned about doing pre-wedding shoots at the location you're going to shoot. That's a great idea, because you've already done those poses. You've had a bit of practice. You've got comfortable with the couple. You're comfortable with the area and the lighting situation if it's going to be in a similar time. That's another aspect is lighting. It's like you mentioned that I shoot mill barns a hell of a lot. But I shoot it throughout the year. A Mill Barnes wedding in February is completely different to a July one.
Well, you've done enough now to know that we're in February.
Get married in spring, people.
Yeah. So you get the nighttime shots, not 10 o'clock at night.
More like 4.
Yeah. I don't even know. Yes, sparklers at 5.
Yeah. For me, I would like, what is the next process in regards to bridal prep? Because obviously that's the first actual way you start shooting kind of thing.
So yeah, bridal prep. I'll rock in, go and introduce myself to the bride if I've not already spoke to her prior. Speak to everyone else in the bridal prep room. Make sure there's some music playing. Make sure there's some drinks flowing. First port of call and action after that, once everyone's all comfortable and happy, I ask for the shoes, the flowers, perfume, any other bits and bobs that they've got, like lay flats, bit of jewellery. Invitations are a good one because lay flats have come back this year.
I was about to say, have you started doing a bit more of that? Because I quite
this year has been
that.
big.
Like
I think they're wicked. I think they should be here to stay.
When you say come back, obviously you're more experienced than me. Were they a thing?
They were a thing before. Like, do you remember colour popping with the photos? That should never come back.
That was not good.
They probably will now, Matt. Someone will watch this.
One of those where it's black and white, and then there's
probably another name for it. But yeah, it was all black and white, and then
then one red rose.
One red rose. Yeah.
I got you.
I actually have had a client ask me to do it, and they just dead stared them straight in the face and was like,
looked at him going, "No,
I'm an artist, darling.
You do not tell me how to do my art."
So yeah, basically, lay flats were a thing of a few years ago. But yeah, more and more people are putting money and time into invitations now. Whereas before, they're not so much. It's all online invitations. But yeah, so if they've got their invitations, I'd love to get them out, do the lay flat, set one of those up. Get that done.
Mm-hmm.
Put all that stuff back. Take the dress. Hang that somewhere beautiful. Not in a garden of
Yeah,
grass. Moving on to the previous episode. No more fresh cut grass.
You can catch that here, by the way.
Yeah, so shoot the dress really quick. Make sure there's no one around. Get someone from the venue.
Of course.
Say if I'm downstairs or if I'm somewhere.
That's a good thing.
Just
make sure the groom don't see it.
Make sure no one sees this dress. 9 times out of 10 as well, bridesmaids haven't seen it. So you got to lock them in a room, throw away the key.
With their Prosecco.
with their Prosecco and music.
With their, no, I heard a great slang term for Prosecco, which is lady petrol. How amazing is that?
Great.
Lady Petrol.
Sorry, I had to get that in there because it's so epic.
That might be a brand.
Yeah, it could be. Oh.
Prosecco, Lady Petrol. Yeah.
Might not be at the higher end.
You're at next wedding, right? Who's got the Lady Petrol? And everyone will think you're so funny, and they'll just be like,
not unless they drive Teslas.
Oh no, maybe not.
Save the environment.
Yeah, they're like, Lady Petrol is so funny. Anyway, carry on.
Shoot the dress. Take that back in, get a bit of prep, because at this point in the morning, no one's got makeup on. No, they've got half contour and they've got white bits under their eyes, which makeup baffles me. How many different layers go on?
Oh mate, that's what I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that I've recently been considering is wearing makeup. Wearing makeup, yeah. It's right what you say. Is some people? I'm expecting you to say this. Is I don't necessarily take photos. Video, sorry,
photos sometimes.
Photos of them before they've kind of at least got a little bit of makeup on or something like that, because a lot of it they're kind of turning away.
I don't give a shit. I just go straight in. if they look at me and go, oh, no, I go, okay,
this is raw.
Yeah, it's a good thing to consider, isn't it? Especially if someone's new coming in, they'll just turn up.
Well, you don't need to turn up 4 hours before then. You just turn up half an hour before.
Well, that's probably what the thing is, isn't it?
Or spend 4 hours on your lay flat.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Because they're back.
Yeah, I don't tend to shoot much of the makeup bit itself. Just moments that are in there, because there's gifts giving and stuff like that, and there's giggling, so you get some natural moments. Then I jump out the room. Then if the ceremony room's set up, shoot some venue shots. Just mill around the venue, because there's time to kill
around.
Hey,
no pun intended.
No pun intended. If I'm at Mill Barnes, I'll mill around the venue. Probably have another cup of coffee. No, I'm joking. I do literally run.
How
around.
many coffees a day do you go through?
I just one. Literally just one in the morning when I get
fueled on passion.
And whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey. Here you go, Matt.
Fueled on passion until the drinks reception. I might partake in a cheeky beer with a couple if it's summer. But no, definitely
drinking on the job, mate. It's a perk.
It's
a perk. Beer. When we bite to it, I'm like,
I'll have a beer. Yeah,
you get some that frown upon it, you get some that don't do it, and you get. I've worked with some people who might have had a little bit too much.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
A wedding,
not naming no names.
No, Mitchell. So embarrassing.
Yeah, so bridal prep's out the way. By this point, groom probably arrives an hour after the bride. Let him get settled in his room. I don't tend to go into the groom until they're pretty much fully dressed. Get the tweaking, get some aftershave shafts, cufflinks, the little touches. Because guys don't like having their photos. No. I mean, there's some, or by the end of the day, they bloody love it and they want to be in the next catalogue.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a wedding with Ross, and the groom was probably more on it than the bride was. He's like, can you make sure you get this? Can you make sure you get that?
That would be me.
I've not experienced that.
That'd be me at my wedding.
Would you class it as a groomzilla?
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 No, it wasn't. It was just so on the ball. It kind of. Yeah, I
think at my wedding, I might be like, I saw this great spot over here.
Is that because you're in? Is that because you're in the industry?
Yeah,
because
I think so.
Just because of the industry. I'm just going to say I'm going to be one of them.
Yeah,
that's going to be me.
Yeah, but that'd be a good thing, because it'd be add to everything. Whereas a lot of, for instance, if a groom or someone doesn't actually know what they want, but they're pointing it out, that doesn't necessarily mean it's any good.
No, not necessarily.
True, very true. Yeah, so I just get some detail shots of the groom once they're dressed mainly, and if they've got a kid, just like tweaking of the kid's tie. And
a few little things,
sentimental moments. Yeah, I think about what I would want with my own kids,
that's a good
or
way
what I'd want with, especially when they've both got their sets of parents. I think, what would I have wanted? Because I've lost both my parents. I see it in a positive light of losing them. That's pretty weird, but I can then picture what a moment's going to be like for them when. One day they may lose their parents, and they've got that image to look back on and be like, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, because most of us will be or are married, so I suppose it's relatable for you to think, well, what would I want?
Yeah. So yeah, once groom's done, and then go back and check in on the bride, see how she's getting on. By this point, registrars have probably arrived. I like to introduce myself to them.
Yeah, it's a key thing to make sure you do, isn't it?
Absolutely, because they run the show, right?
Christ, yes, indeed.
They do. Have a little bit of a reputation.
What reputation is that? For people getting into weddings, what have you got to watch out?
We need to clarify that, mate.
Yeah.
Not all registrars are nice people.
Yeah.
Not all, no. This day doesn't
70%
happen without
of them.
me is what I heard. This day doesn't go on without me. So therefore...
Is that what they said?
Yes,
Yeah.
they said that to me.
But they're the smallest part of the day.
Yeah.
They're the
Literally 20
smallest,
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that.
And they're really the only people who can ruin it for the couple.
Yeah,
Like, literally.
Yeah.
But, 9 times out of 10, they have changed over the years. I think that's because you can officially put in formal complaints, if that's anyone who doesn't know this.
I didn't know that.
I've never personally done it, but I've heard if you put in a complaint, they get a kick up the arse, and then they're brilliant the next time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
That's
definitely...
right there, innit?
Yeah, they are pretty... I call them like little Hitlers. Is that, is that wrong? If that's not in there, Mitch took it out.
Yeah.
But if you listen to this bit, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there's always two of them, so it's either Hitler and Stalin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, where I literally once said to me, the day doesn't happen without me, so therefore you must stand here or whatever. Like, I don't want this. Like, she didn't want a lav mic on it. I don't want to wear that. And I was just like...
But you know what? I bet they're more difficult for videographers and the art photographers because you have to ask, can I mic you up? Can I do this?
Don't get me wrong, 9 times out of 10 have been sound. And
Yeah.
some
I've had
really
some
lovely
incredible
ones.
that are
Yeah.
just so willing and helpful, and you're just like, thank you so much.
And they're actually funny and crack jokes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, most of them are very formal. Get the job done and they're off. Because they've got 2 or 3 weddings to do a day. But when you do get a funny one, it's a breath of fresh air, and it should
100%.
always be like that.
Yeah.
So-
I think so. I agree.
Be warned.
But yeah, going smooth over the registrars.
Yeah.
Take
Befriend
them a
them.
cake.
Take them a
cake.
cake.
Coffee,
A space cake.
Space. That might smooth them over.
I now pronounce you high. Don't do that. Drugs are bad, kids.
Unless you're drugging registrars.
This could be a whole new
I was going to say.
We're going off on
lawsuit.
a tangent. Maybe we should eat space cake.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah,
Is that legal?
guys. Yeah.
Is that legal?
I don't think it is.
2 men
If,
and a...
if this is going out in California only, then it's legal.
Oh, New York.
New York now. Most states in America, I suppose you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
only California that you can? Or
No, well, I was in New York recently and they're smoking weed in the street, so it's legal now.
Let's go and do a podcast in Amsterdam.
Ah,
Or New York.
That sounds right.
Oh, God, no.
It's legal
Where's
there.
this going?
Oh, you don't even. We just filmed this one in Amsterdam right now.
Yeah.
Where we moved the set to Amsterdam. Anyway, going off subject. Butter up
Registrars.
the registrars. Yeah, okay,
They're
after
done.
that.
Then tend to go back down. Bride should be in her dress. Get some last minute buttoning up shots. Ask them beforehand if they want to do a reveal. If their dad's still around and they want to do a dad reveal. Or whoever's walking them down.
stepdad, or it might be mother,
might be a
some-
mother or brother. Sometimes brothers walk them down the aisle. So whoever they're going to do a reveal to, add it be bridesmaids or whoever's walking them down the aisle. We do that, and then by that point the registrars kick the door down. Want 15 minutes. I don't tend to leave the room, to be fair.
really?
I've never been asked to.
What,
but
when they're having their chat?
when they're having their chat, but it's good to leave because you've got other stuff to do.
I always leave, yeah.
If
I've been
I
asked to leave.
boxed off the dad reveal and the bridesmaid reveal before the registrars kick in, and I've done everything I need, that's fresh air. I've got 15 minutes to go upstairs and get ready.
See,
have
I think-
another breakfast.
Have another
maybe
breakfast.
the difference in regards to normally I'm then like, right then that's done. I've got to go and finish off setting
Yeah.
up camera positioning, make sure it's lapped up. Well, with a
There's
photographer,
a bit
little
more,
different,
like,
isn't it? To
Matt
a little
just
bit of
rocks
prep
up,
for the
yeah.
ceremony. Fuck it, there we
Press
go.
the button,
Just
don't
click
you,
a
mate?
button,
Press the button.
Yeah, it's the camera.
Oh, your camera takes beautiful photos.
And I'm just like, it's like saying to a chef, your oven must be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great.
The seasoning just falls off the roof of the oven. Years of use. Yeah, so once that's done, go upstairs, set up, get groom in position, calm him down a little bit, have a chat with the best man of what position when he's coming up with the rings.
Oh, mate.
Because they're facing it. Because if you don't, it's a big fumble.
To be honest with you, I've never actually done that. And now you've just said that. That's absolute wicked.
There you go,
Top
little
tip.
tip.
Yeah,
Top
top tip. Because I've done it where obviously we position the camera in a certain way, and we have multiple cameras on the video side of things, and they'll just literally stand, and it's stand in front of the camera, so you can't see the couple on the main couple shot, for instance.
I just prod him.
Yeah.
With a
Story.
big stick.
Yeah, and big stick. And then they then hand the key and the ring over to them, and then they just step back towards the camera or something. Where, like you say, if you were to prompt them and say, just be mindful, don't go up to it and then go down. Well, funny you say that about prompting them, because I actually said that. I kind of went to the on a wedding. I went and said to the best man, "Excuse me, mate, can you just pop out the way?" And the registrar noticed that I did it. Didn't necessarily stop the wedding, but just stopped dead on the track to say, "Oh, videographer's telling the best man to get out the way."
Yeah, because I want to film.
And I was like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
and
How embarrassing.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, well, just wait for him to sit down then, shall we?" So then he sat down, because I didn't tell him to sit down. I told him to just shimmy out the way. And then she said, "Right then, best wait for him to come back up, since the videographer told him to get out the way." And no one laughed at it, and you're just like,
It's like
"Oh."
tumbleweed.
Yeah, videographers do tend to brief the best man what they want them to do, but by this point, I've already briefed them anyway. But it's just a little top tip that I like to do, and it's a personal preference. I have a chat with the groom, and I say to him, "Face me. I'll give you the nod when the bridal party's walking in. Once the last person of the bridal party's walked in, turn back to me.
Yeah.
And then when the bride's in, I'll give you the nod. Don't turn. Don't listen to the registrar. Just look at me.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the nod."
That's good.
And then you turn around.
Oh, that's good.
In
yeah.
anticipation. So she's like 3/4 in. And then I give him the nod. At this point, he's like, "Is she in?" Because he can hear the music. And then he turns around and you get the emotion. I've told the best man when they're facing, when he's called up, dress permitted, because you don't know how that dress is going to be placed. If he can't get in between them, he can't do it. I say, if you can, brilliant, get in between them, so I'm there. If not, don't worry, come to the side, I'll reposition myself, don't panic. But I've had best men walk up, boot the dress out the way, and it's funny. And he's there like that, hey. But yeah, they're the only two prompts that I really do with the couple through the ceremony. Ceremony's over, get some natural shots in there, confetti, do that.
Do you have any recommendations where you would like the registrar to stand now? Obviously,
Out the bloody way.
Like, obviously, we said some are
That's a good
or not. I kind of go, right then, where's my camera? How are you? Oh, we're standing there, or because to me, you get people stand in the middle.
Yeah,
I don't know why that's where I feel it's the best, but then people stand off side, and it depends on which side they're standing
At
off.
the end of the day,
Got to cut across.
it doesn't matter what you tell them. They forget it and then stand somewhere different. I always ask the registrar, "Where will the couple stand and where will you stand?" She goes, "I'm going to stand here and the couple will be here." And then they walk down the aisle and she moves them somewhere else, and she moves, and I'm like, "You've got two cameras on it." You're like, "Oh shit."
See, for you, that's a big issue because you're set up. For me, I can just reposition.
You can just go.
I prefer to be central because the couple's there and the registrar stand offside.
Oh, you prefer them offside?
I prefer offside, but you get a couple of registrars that genuinely prefer to stand right in front of the couple. And when I say right in front, they're this
honestly,
close.
yeah.
They like to be there. So, like, even if you're at the side, registrars in all your shots.
Yeah, no, totally.
That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
And plus, the ceremonies are very short.
It is, yeah.
For the couple, it seems like it's the biggest moment of the day, but it's like 20 minutes. It's over and done with. It's a blur, and then you're drinking and you're loving life.
Partying. Yeah, so after that,
which is
done
the
confetti.
Which
That's
is the
my
good
favourite
point.
bit. I mean, as
The drink
I said,
reception.
I don't do a lot of weddings, but why to get to drinks reception, I feel like things are chill. You've just got some speeches to take care of.
It depends which photography you've got, because I've heard stories where it's not chill.
What?
Because as soon as drinks reception starts,
oh no,
like,
that's
we're straight into photos.
I'm
not
not
like
talking
that.
about for me is video. So I'm just chilling.
You don't have to do groups or anything. It's just pure candid, isn't it?
Yeah, candid. It's
but
great.
for me, I don't like to go straight into photos. I don't think they should. I'll look, I'll see how long I've got, and I know what I can do in that time frame. So I say, go and chill, have a drink, speak to your guests. I'll come and grab you when I need to grab you. At this point, you're doing your candids. You're checking the time. You're looking at the weather. Because that's another thing. If it's a lovely day, you relax because you know it's going to be good weather throughout that day. If it's hit or miss and it's windy, it's raining,
or it's winter and it's dark at 3.
My last wedding was a 2:30 ceremony on the 9th of December.
I was going to say,
oh wow,
that's a late ceremony as it is, let alone in a winter time.
And it started 10 minutes late.
No.
So 20 to 3, the ceremony started, finished at 3:05. This was the first.
You've not even got half an hour really.
This is the first time I've moving on because I like to let them chill, have a drinks reception. I says, look, let's go and do your photos, get it over and done with. It's then going to go dark, and then you can chill your reception for the rest of it. Couple was really cool with it because a lot of the time the couple don't know about the lighting situation.
No, they don't
just think 2:30 ceremony, brilliant, and then we can pretty much close the party. It's like, you've got 40 minutes of light in that time. We've got to do all your groups, couple shots, everything, and it's tough.
It is.
But then if you've got a nice venue, you can utilise some dark shots inside, like on stairs
Yeah,
with
sometimes.
candles and stuff.
Now, with your group shots, like when I go to weddings and I'm the videographer and I'm just doing the candies, I'm looking at the photographer doing all those shots, and I'm like, and there's like,
You
have we
poor
got
bastard.
so and so? Yeah. And how do you handle that? Do you call the guy? Do you have? I know you said you obviously on your contract you have a list.
If it's a big list and I need help, I'll pull in a bridesmaid or a groomsman. Usually the loudest one there. There's always one.
Yeah,
The loudest.
that's good.
But
The
then
loudest
the
one
loudest
there.
one are normally the most drunk.
And then they're not shy.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on, you gotta get your photo done, Derek.
Yeah, if the weather's good, I tend to get the whole list of people out where we're going to go, get them to stand behind, and then go from the biggest to the smallest. So when they're done, they can go inside and bugger off and carry on.
Oh, so
drinking and
you
enjoy.
sort of have them in a holding pen.
Yeah.
You have like a
sheep.
method to the madness in the sense of you will kind of run through the list maybe prior to it and go, right then, how many people can I keep in one position and just take people away and stuff like that?
Oh right, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes,
So,
it's mainly with family shots. That is, so like you'll have like mum, dad, siblings, and then you can pull the siblings out, which is mum and dad. You pull dad out, which is her and mum,
exactly,
and vice versa.
Rather than them
it
going
just
away
like
and then 10 shots later, right then come back in. It's like trying to organise it in a way that it's flows.
Streamline
there. Yeah,
Let's be honest. A lot of people moan about the group photos, but in hindsight, they're not that bad. You get a few weddings a year where the group photos are an absolute graft.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, if you streamline it enough, and
if you've been doing it for 8 years,
and you work through it, and you convince the couple that they only need to get their immediate family, bridesmaids, groomsmen, and very important people, which 9 times out of 10, you invite people to weddings that you probably don't see again for another 6 to 12 months. Why do you want a photo with them anyway?
What gets me as well is that you've done it where they'll do this massive list, and you'll have, say, for instance, work friends. So, right then, let's get a work friends group shot. But then they'll ask you to take a work friends group shot like an hour or two later when they're having some beers in the garden.
I always,
it's like, well, you get that photo anyway.
I always say that. I always say we'll get these. We're going to do the important ones first. Not saying that you're not important.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that we can get funny and candid and drunk later.
Yeah, exactly.
These are your immediate family. These are people who you're related to.
this one's going on the mantelpiece.
This one's going to Nan for Christmas. You know what I mean? She wants this. So they're the ones that you just go for. And 9 times out of 10, I can do groups half an hour.
Yeah, that's
over
good.
and done with, and I only really need the couple for 20 minutes as well. I've heard horror stories where couples have gone off for at least an hour.
Oh wow!
Just for the couple shots.
Yeah,
I think if you've got the availability to do it and they're willing to do it, then for me, I'm like, sure, why not? But at the
especially
same
in
time,
summer, because they can chill. 20 minutes is enough. They're done, and then after food, you can give the option. Go, lighting's a bit nicer. Should we go and do a little bit more?
Golden hour. Yeah, in my limited experience in weddings, although I've shot for a few years, they like that bit because it's it's their only time, the couple shots that is.
Love it.
Where they're like,
this is nice.
You know, they can actually be present with each other for the first time all day because it's constant, like everyone congratulating them, and that little time they get away with you, or the photographer and the videographer, they love it, and there's a banter there. They got, obviously, you know, you guys or us on it. They have a bit of fun with it, and it's like, oh, I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, the groom's the most nervous one out of the two. Bride's pretty relaxed, unless the groom's had a nice few drinks and he's chilled. But they're really always nervous about photos. But when it starts, I'm not more of the person who goes, do this. Oh, can you just do this? I'll have a genuine chat, a bit of banter. Sometimes I might go too far. But at this point, you're laughing, but we're chatting and bantering. Yeah, I'm clicking away. So it's why it looks really natural. Yeah. There's a couple of pose shots, but it's bantered into it. It's like, just do this. You look really cute.
Yeah.
You hold the flowers, babe. You know, just be really like flirty with them, eh? To a point where they actually think you are. Really No, I do have a wife and 3 kids. Means nothing. It's 2023.
Yeah.
So as long as you just keep them relaxed and having fun, they have fun between the two of them, and it naturally, organically unfolds because they're already comfortable around you. If they're comfortable around you, they don't care you've got a camera in your hand. They're just being themselves, and they're the best couples you can get. You get ones that you can give as much banter as you give, and they take it, but they're still not comfortable around themselves. It's like they're like, I wouldn't say new couples because they're still getting married, but there are couples out there that you don't think feel comfortable around each other. It might just be being overwhelmed. It's their wedding day, but most of the time they're really comfortable with each other, and they're the best footage you'll ever get. So as long as you're relaxed around them and you're fun and they enjoy being around you, everything's a dream. I mean, I feel fortunate to be able to talk to people and have banter, because some people are really great photographers, but really crap personal skills.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know this personally, but you work with a lot of photographers, so I can imagine you work with people
100%.
who will give loads of jokes, and then you work with people who are just really quiet behind the camera.
Yeah.
Or there is they have a higher expectation of what the couple should be doing.
Yeah.
And then when they don't, because for instance
not the
they're not
couple's
that
job, is it?
uncomfortable, they go, oh well, what? And then they almost can twist into, they become a little bit shitty with the couple, and kind of like you say,
Ruins it for the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not going to get a smile out of the
No,
couple. They're going to be
exactly.
like, really like, oh God, wish we didn't book them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you've done that, then it's what, food time?
It's chill time.
Chill
Not
time.
unless it's speeches first.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
get the option, don't we, of if it's speeches first, and then you can chill time.
What do you prefer? Because I prefer speeches first.
See, I prefer speeches first. It's out of
I
the
do
way.
too, because you can like not have that worry of having some food and then
Getting
oh no,
yeah.
can you
Which
let me know?
you've had a moment like that, Mitch. Or should I say we've had a moment like that.
Yeah. Well, it was afterwards, and I had a specific word with the coordinator and said, right then, make sure you
Let
let
me
us
know.
And then
And
all
guess
of us,
what?
and he didn't. And we were eating. We were literally in the middle of eating,
Yeah.
and I had to stop them and say, "I'm sorry."
You look like the bad guy when
Yeah,
really you wasn't the
and
bad
then
guy.
people absolutely took the mick out of me, didn't they?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and what upset me more was I could tell the groom was shitting it a bit
Yeah.
up to it, so he probably worked himself up to start.
And he's
then-
had to do it all
then
over
you
again.
stopped him.
Yeah,
and I stopped him and said, "I'm really sorry, I'm
Let's
not
start
ready.
again.
This has come as a
I
surprise
was
to me."
not
I
told.
did it. So I literally banged the mic on him and just set one camera up, and that's all I could do at the time.
Going back to my initial, when you arrive at a venue, go and speak to the coordinator first
Did you-
and schmooze
did you
them.
butter-
He
butter
did.
them
He
up?
did. He did.
I
he
did.
to be fair.
That's when we walked
I'm not
in. and
naming
we
the
said-
venue or the person, but the guy's renowned to being an arsehole.
Yeah. He was like very much, yeah, of course I would never do that, and then did it. And I was
Yeah,
like,
he
I don't
did
think
that
he even
on
apologised, did he?
No, he's
Didn't
not,
go,
he's not
he
the
just-
guy
he
that
just
would.
did it.
He's that kind of person,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
I've been there a few times, and it's just the way he is. It's the nature of him.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's name the venue. No.
It is, and then bleep it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if it's speeches, get through them in the usual order, where it would be the father of the bride,
Yeah.
the groom,
And then the best man.
Another one for you. I've noticed recently brides have started doing more speeches,
Yeah.
and I really like that.
I like it
think
as
that's
well.
good.
And
Yeah, it's a
bridesmaids.
different angle.
I've had funny bridesmaids. Sometimes funnier than best men. to be fair.
Yeah. Because it's like
I had one that they did a rap, and it was great.
I had a rap as well. Actually,
With the same wedding?
No. I've had a rap.
No, yeah,
and that worked.
she
That was
did a
funny.
rap, and I was like, that was incredible, funny, and just obviously different.
Yeah, I
The
think.
bride or the bridesmaids.
Well, one of the bridesmaids.
Yeah, two bridesmaids for me.
No.
I think it should be off who you want to give a speech.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people are forced as tradition to do it. For
Tradition.
instance, the dad or the best man or anyone, and they're like shitting it, and
yeah.
they don't want to do it. So it turns out to be not the best, which is totally fine. But then they've got other friends that you can see throughout the day that would
That would've
love
been
to have
great.
done
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's what it should be more to. Who do you want to give a speech? Couple
Yeah, that's a
speeches
fair
and
point.
go.
Sticking on that topic as well, doing speeches first, I think that's a top tip.
Oh yeah.
Purely because of those people being nervous,
They don't eat their food.
Yeah,
they
so
don't
you
eat their
food,
food.
I've had that
So do your
before.
speeches, get it out the way, relax,
I
and
can have
enjoy
a
your
drink.
dinner.
Yeah,
because
and
when it's
also-
90 quid a head or 100 and whatever quid a head,
You
and
want
then
to
they
be
don't-
enjoying that.
they don't enjoy it because they're thinking, oh, I do not want to be getting.
Or the bride and groom are staring at you going, I paid for that, I paid for that.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten that.
Yeah.
It's because I'm goddamn nervous.
What? Do you want that roast potato?
Yeah. We only had 3, I'll have it.
That's it, yeah.
Matt's had 2 breakfasts, he'll have it.
Speech is definitely best first, so you can then just enjoy your food.
Yeah, 100%.
And then
then
there's
it
always
really-
a little bit of a lull there for me.
There's
like,
a lull. If it's summer and the lighting's good, or the weather's good, you got that lull where they turn the room around.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the bride and groom just want to go and chill. I always give them the option. Do you fancy just doing 5-10 minutes of just this bit to kill a bit of time? Give them the option. I'm never fussed if they say no, because I don't do it for me. I do it for them. If they say yeah, kills a bit of time. If they say no, it is kind of a bit of a lull. It's like, do we just go and do more candids of the same candids we've already got?
Yeah, I try and
Do
take
we,
some
do
chill
we
time there.
pretend that
That's
we're
what I
doing
get
it?
a lot of,
It's-
yeah.
You've got an hour to kill before it's cake cut, first dance, party time, and then home time.
Home time. Yeah. What time do you stay till you got some dancing shots?
Yeah, for me, usually what happens, you know what it's like at a wedding. They'll do the first dance. Everyone will get on the dance floor. You get 3 or 4 songs where the party's going,
Yeah.
and then the 5th song starts, and everyone's like, let's go to the bar.
Yeah.
Dance floor's gone. You've got your footage. It's like, right,
That's
it's
it,
time
home
to say
time.
goodbye.
Yeah.
There's another 10-15 minutes. Evening food's coming out. You've got to stay another hour before you've even got party time.
Or you don't get any dancing footage because no one goes on the dance floor and it's
That's
dead
tough.
after
That's
first
tough.
dance. And then you're like, how long do I wait?
And
like
then
you
the food comes out like 20 minutes after the first dance.
And you've got
then
no
killed it for
chance.
you've got no chance, have you?
Good tip for that. You go to the DJ, you tell him to put on an absolute banger, tell him to tell everyone to come to the dance floor for at least one song. You get your footage from that.
You know what I did once? Because the dance floor wasn't going off. I said, look, mate, I don't want to tell you how to do your job. But if you can put on Sweet Caroline and Mr. Brightside back to back, I could go home. He did, and it was rammed for like 10 minutes. Got all my shots. That's it.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Copped it. Sweet
That's a
Caroline.
wrap.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, I guess we've about covered everything. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Matthew?
That's pretty much it for me. Once I've said my goodbyes, I'll tell the couple that I'll send them a little preview.
Do you say goodbye?
Oh, yeah, just,
And
Or do you do an Irish
No,
goodbye?
another top tip is before you go and do the cake cut. So I've been told this by another video.
I know what you're going to say.
Before you do the cake cut, you call them over, you have a little chat, you go, things are about to get hectic now. So once you've done this cake cut, so I'm going to say my goodbyes now. It's been absolutely beautiful. Love you to bits. But I'm going to dip off halfway through the songs and stuff. So I'm going to say my goodbye now. So I don't have to pull you away from the dance floor. If you get it to do it, it's brilliant because you can't just leave and you don't feel guilty. I've never left a wedding without saying goodbye though, like ever. So I tend to, if worst case scenario, they're dancing, I'll go up, I'll tap them and say, yeah, I'm going now. And they're cool to stop. You have a little hug, you have a chat. I tell them that I'll give them a preview within like the next couple of days. And then tell them my delivery time for the rest. And then go home, back up. And 9 times out of 10, I can't switch off after a wedding. I'm up till like 1 o'clock anyway.
Have a whiskey.
Have a whiskey. I'll do the preview. I'll send it either on the night or the following
Oh,
morning.
really?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10. If I've got back-to-back weddings or I've got 3 weddings in a row, I'll go home, I'll back up, I'll charge, I'll go to sleep because I've got another wedding the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much my process.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
What a great insight. I've learned
Really good.
I've learned
There's
a few
so much
things
more we could talk about.
I know, but you know, people's retention spans are short. We've already cut this into 2 episodes, which is great
could
for
have done
us.
3.
We could have done.
Series.
Honestly, mate, it's been good to chat, and obviously
thank you
we've
very
met a
much.
few times now and worked together once, and it was it was all
Yeah,
3 of us, wasn't
it was good. Great day.
Great, yeah.
Great day.
So, yeah, if there's again going off last week's episode, if there's any questions you've got for Matt or anything else related to this episode or the one previous, then drop them in the comments below, and we'll see you next week.